In this video, I'm going to cover an interesting experiment done by Croissant. If he actually did an AI token, but this time completely different because the way he deployed the token was completely through AI, so he doesn't even have private keys, which is very interesting. As you can remember, there's already a couple of tokens generated by AI, especially in the first wave of meme coins. This time, this is like the next level because even the private keys and the deployment are on the AI side. So basically how he describes everything, I'm going to of course list everything. The token is called Astro Pepe X and everything about it is generated as well, but this time it's really interesting to see how it's going to the next level with Hard Hat. So basically Croissant.eth, who's actually pretty well known. He has over 100,000 followers on Twitter and he writes different threads, so doing cool stuff. He's writing how he loves ChatGPT and was trying to have fun with it, but the general question was, can ChatGPT actually deploy its own token? It's actually not possible just right away unless you start connecting OpenAI API to other APIs in order to do it. And this is what he done really here, which is creating a script that prompts and directs ChatGPT to create a token, and then this script will be connected to Ethereum via Hard Hat. So Hard Hat is one of the libraries. He's probably connecting API to GitHub and then taking everything there and deploying everything on Ethereum via Hard Hat. So a couple hundred lines of code later, my idea was starting to materialize. In essence, it asked ChatGPT to form an ERC20 token using OpenZeppelin standards. The token name and other parameters are designed to be passed in by values given by ChatGPT in the code's constructor. I'm going to review the code in a moment, but let's carry on with the thread here. So after GPT writes the ERC20 Solidity contract code, things get a bit more technical. The script introduces a JSON object named data supply, which initiates a conversation with ChatGPT to generate a desirable supply for its token. And then he also creates a similar JSON, this time named that name, to generate name for the token of its creation. So you're going to create both name and the supply, and with that you can generate all the other parameters that are stored inside. Finally, the next level is creating description and then using that to create image for the token using DALL-E. So DALL-E is of course Midjourney from OpenAI, so the alternative to Midjourney, generating from prompts different images. And the results were pretty exciting. So Fluffy Unicorn Coin was not ideal. He basically was trying again to do it. And after some time, he came up with different versions of Pepe. He basically did everything and managed to get it. So created a Dune query to gather the top 10K traded tokens and basically use that data to create a name, and this pushed everything towards the name. A couple of testnet runs getting Universe and Quantum Pepe, and finally the token that he created was basically ready to go, and this was the token called Astro Pepe X, which I'm going to also cover in a moment. However, what is really interesting here is that he has this AI that's able actually to deploy ERC20 tokens on its own, even creating with no human involvement, no human interaction, which is really interesting and actually shows a different kind of narrative, different kind of questions, because if you're able to do those stuff, then basically the questions are who has ownership of the private keys, who has ownership of the contract, because if he doesn't know them, then basically no one has. Maybe probably AI has access to that because they needed to have private key in order to supply data to Hard Hat and deploy everything on Ethereum. But once the contract is deployed, ownership is also immediately revoked. So not only it's deployed by AI, but then AI actually revokes the ownership of the contract. So 100% of the tokens are added alongside to ETH to liquidity on Uniswap upon creation. and this is basically it. So the code itself is here. I'm going to cover that in a moment, but we're going to see the main token that he created with it, which is also pretty funny. This is the Astro Pepe X with the supply of 65 billion tokens, APX. You can see the token address here. Also, I'm going to put that down below in the description. So this is the thing. The cool stuff here is that well, it's really funny, and this is this new novel idea of actually AI deploying something on the blockchain by itself to some certain extent, and having no way for humans to actually modify that because they do not have access to private keys anymore. Now, let's have a look at the token first, and then we're going to have a look at the contract. So the token itself, Astro Pepe X, if you're interested, is on the blockchain. You can of course buy it. I'm not giving any financial advice here. You have to decide for yourself whether you like it or not, whether it makes sense. The current market cap is $60 million. The liquidity is $300,000. Total supply is 65 billion tokens, and there are over 2,000 holders. As you can see, the initial price action was pretty amazing, and it was up only, and now it's basically oscillates around the $6 million. So again, not a financial advice here. You should decide for yourself. This is definitely a meme coin, very interesting one in idea. So it might go in very, also might be an opportunity, might be a flop. Decide for yourself. If you look at the statistics, you can look also at the Etherscan for the holders. The interesting stuff here is that you can see that no one holds more than 2.5% of the token, and there's a lot of people holding like 1% and a lot of people holding below 1%. So the token is pretty well distributed so far, and of course you can buy it on Uniswap. Now, going back to the script itself, if you go to deploy GPT-4 TS, you're going to see what's happening here, and basically you can see that he's using hard hat, and he's also connecting to the OpenAI, which means that he's using GPT to basically generate the token. So his prompt for GPT 3.5 is that generate an ERC20 token using the sample contract. So this is the sample contract he takes from OpenZeppelin. This is the very standard part, and basically he asks the ChatGPT to modify it and replace the contract name with the name generated. And he also indicates that he wants to make a similar contract where the name, symbol, and total supply are in the constructor, and I also need to set the owner to the null address after minting. So this is revoking the contract, and make sure to call the internal function transfer ownership. I only want the code in your response and no introductory text or closing text. So this is pretty cool because he takes the open standard from OpenZeppelin and basically asks ChatGPT to modify that. So as you can remember with Turbo, the creator of Turbo, who was also no coder, he actually took just the code from OpenZeppelin after being and had and deployed that himself. Here, the idea is that everything will be deployed by ChatGPT, by the conversation, and then the access, the ownership will be revoked as well. So this is what this is a couple of other interactions here with the bot, adjusting the prompt to change the supply of the token, a couple of tries you can have. So altogether, you can see the script of what's happening here and what you're getting in the end. Really cool stuff, and we have it here live on the Ethereum. I think this is pretty interesting, and it also is generally interesting also for more advanced applications, because you can imagine that different DeFi services can be deployed this way with no human interaction, with just ChatGPT. And then there's a very interesting question of like how different regulations apply to that, because basically you cannot really say that the dev did something when it's ChatGPT who actually done everything, and you might be out of your not controlled everything by you. Just for example, written up a prompt to ChatGPT saying that you want to have an application that's for staking, doing this and this, and then in the end, this is ChatGPT deploying everything. So I'm looking definitely for more experiments. Probably will play with that myself because I like the idea of having AI deploy and play with everything. So for that idea, I really, really love it. Super huge props to Croissant Eve for thinking about this idea and putting it in action. I'm going also to give you a link to that thread down below in the description. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel to get to the most interesting stuff happening in crypto, and see you in the next video.